with Warrior head coach Norm Chow on National Signing Day. Coach, you've put together your 2013 recruiting class. What's your overall thoughts on this year's class, your second as Warrior head coach?
Well, every coach is optimistic at this time of the year. I think we feel good about it. Our staff has done a lot of work, done a real good job. But we have to temper our enthusiasm, because I think what's proper is for us to evaluate this class in a couple, 3 years when these guys get older. Just like this go around, we should be evaluating the class from 2009 or 10 or whatever. But overall, we're excited about it. Like I said, our coaches have done a tremendous job. They've worked awfully hard.
Let's talk about the strategy. What were your needs coming in, and how have you addressed those?
Well, we had a lot of needs, and we tried to do it by position, but we also were not going to give up a chance at a top flight player, even though we have allotments. We need in order to make the puzzle fit, you have to have so many receivers, so many linemen. But we're not that strict staying by those guidelines. The other thing that we tried to do, because of the uniqueness of Hawaii, and I think it worked, is we brought a lot of our kids in later, toward the end of the recruiting season, just to see if they were indeed interested. A lot of kids just want to come for a visit, right? I mean, it's Hawaii. Who wouldn't want to come on a weekend in Hawaii? So we kept it toward the end, where we found out if they were interested or not, and that worked out pretty good for us.
Last year, you got some prize recruits like Stephen Lakalaka, Benny Fanua. How do you think you did in local?
Oh, we really feel good. That's what we made it a point that we were going to try to keep as many as we can. And we're not going to keep them all at home. This is a very recruited state, but we felt like the top offensive lineman and the top defensive lineman that we identified both stayed home with us, and we're really pleased with that. And then obviously Afonga Wiley stayed home. That was a big get for us. So we really feel good. I think there's 6 or 7, and we're still trying to work on a couple more.
Geographically speaking, the program's traditionally recruited heavily here, locally, obviously, California, but you're starting to make inroads Utah, and also as far east as Florida.
Yeah, we did. Chris Demas has recruited Florida for a lot of years, and my experience recruiting over the years is the Florida the young people that come out of Florida are they're different. They're very serious-minded. Football is very important to them. So we took a swing. Chris went in there, does a great job, has a lot of contacts, and yeah, we would like to get into Florida. They're similar to us weather-wise, and these young men, when they don't care where they go, they just want a chance to play. And everyone understands that recruiting a young man from Florida is you're getting a real top-notch guy when you can do that.
Mm-hmm. And also your Utah connection.
Well, you did that, and Coach Powell had obviously has some connections there. We got 4 guys out of there. Try to recruit. Well, no, I think we're 4 for 4. We talked to another one, but the academics we had a problem with. So we feel good about that, and then we feel good about our junior college players as well.
What excites you most about this year's class?
Well, I think our football team is still made up of our nucleus of guys from last year. I think the addition, the skills that they bring will kind of enhance, not replace, but enhance the players that we have right now.
And are there any players in particular that we should look out for?
Kennedy and John Wah, we thought were the top offensive and defensive linemen. To get both of them, to get Afonga, I don't want to leave out anybody. Wiley, Leslie Solly was a big get for us from my air. Obviously the running back from Florida, D. St. Just, we really liked. He gives us an additional, like I said, he enhances what we have at that position. I know I'm forgetting some. I don't mean to do that. Elijah Tupai, an offensive lineman from Salt Lake City, turned down San Diego State, BYU to come with us. It's hard to get guys that get recruited like that to come all this way, but we were fortunate to get those.
Last year you were hired in December. You had to get your coaching staff together. You guys had such a short window in recruiting. Talk about the difference in approach this year.
Well, we were able to recruit all year long, and we recruit every day. We tell our coaches know that every day from September 1, whenever we get back together, till the end of recruiting, we recruit every day. And we were able to do that. So we were able to write letters in the fall and make calls in the fall that we weren't able to do when we got in last year. I think that made a difference. We identified them, evaluated them a little bit earlier, and were able to stay with them a little bit longer.
How does this year's recruiting class fit into your philosophy?
Well, again, we tried to fill needs, but we also made sure that we were trying to get the best players that were available. We expect a lot of them to contribute immediately, and a lot of them to bring some depth to us. So we'll see. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
Spring football will be starting pretty soon. Tell us about the mid-year signees and gray shirts. Who we will see on the field.
We really feel good about that. We signed a half a dozen. David Griffin, an offensive tackle from Mesa Junior College. We expect him to fit right in. When you recruit junior college people, you don't bring them in to sit on a red shirt all that. You want them to play. Julian Jenner, a linebacker that we got, a real good downhill player from Mount Sac. Josh Long, a tight end that we needed to have, a kind of a utility back, if you will, not a typical, prototypical tight end, but more of a what we call a utility back, 6'3", 250. And then there was a couple of wide receivers, Vasquez Haynes and Terrence Pope, that I think really going to help us. Let's see, I'm forgetting one more junior college player, Jenner. Anyway, they need to come in right away and play for us. We can't wait for junior college players because they only have 2 more years, so we really need to get them to go on. The gray shirts, we brought in Penatito Longo from Samoa, and a young man named Anthony Pierce from Mission Viejo, a freshman who is going to help us in the corner.
All right. Congratulations on today, and I look forward to spring football.
Well, thank you. We are too. Thank